So one thing that you would have to do while building your portfolio is look at the charts to make sure you're getting a good entry price. So I didn't do that because obviously I just wanted to create the portfolio for the tutorial. But if I had the time to, create the portfolio as I would want, I would first off go and look at the charts for each of those cryptos, even though this is a long-term investment, right? So I would go first on Bitcoin. And my thought process on Bitcoin for now, it was in a huge downtrend. That trend kind of broke. We bounced back off of it, and we have this, support around the $6,000 level. So, for me, it's if I want to invest in it, then I'm in a good place to invest. I'm not in a bad place to invest. So I would buy, especially that I know there's a support just below at around 6,000. So it's a good place. So I would have bought regardless at that price that we just bought at. Because again, I'm not trying to save this amount of money or whatnot. What I'm trying to avoid is basically, I don't want to buy if, let's say, I'm here. I want to wait because I know that we're in this downtrend and this could have just bounced off and kept going down. I wouldn't have wanted to buy here because I know, or even here. I want to wait until it breaks over this downtrend and then say, okay, well, now I want to buy. Okay, so now, yeah, it is not in there anymore and it is over this support. So I would get into it. So it's more of a thing, when you're investing, it's more, when you're looking at chart, it's more of a thing of where you're making sure you're not going against the trend, or it's not just being dumped and you're buying at that time, or there's not a huge resistance above it and you're buying just below the resistance, you're waiting until it breaks it. So just to avoid or to try and make to get a better entry if it is possible. But that's it. You're not actually trying, to buy here and sell here and do that, because that would be trading, and you're just investing, and investment is based on fundamentals. The only technical is basically just getting in, and even when you do that, you're using it really to avoid a bad entry in a way. But if it's not a bad entry and it's a good investment, you get into it, right? Now, if you are interested by trading, I am going to be making a trading course on cryptos, which the trading material is a bit different than investing material because it's not based on fundamental. It's more based on a lot of technicals and volume and, a lot of these stuff that don't necessarily have to do with fundamentals at all, but it works for short term and doesn't work for long term. So again, what you're doing in investment is different than what happens in trading. They're two separate worlds, and you have to behave differently when you're doing either long term or short term. Okay, so what else did we look at? Ethereum, and no, Ethereum was not one of the coins. Binance coin is one. So I always like to look at the altcoins versus Bitcoin to see how they perform versus Bitcoin. I don't like looking at them versus USD because my interest is if they outperform Bitcoin or not. So you see that Binance coin has been doing way better than Bitcoin. Now, do I want to buy here? Yeah, looks like it's in a good spot. It's not. It seems like there's some bit of a support here around this level, and it's So there's a support just below it. So I would get in if that's my if I want it. Now, what I wouldn't have wanted if I wanted to buy and I was here, then maybe I wouldn't have bought. Why? Because at that point, I see here there's an uptrend, and you know what? That uptrend broke, so it's dropping. I wouldn't buy here. I would wait. And look at this. I would have waited. And then obviously this didn't exist before, but I could have seen that here's your support, but I would have waited. And then here, once that downtrend stopped, then maybe I would have bought here. So I would, instead of buying somewhere here, I would have bought way lower. So I would have saved money and I would have saved time. That money I could have used it somewhere else meanwhile. So that's really how your entry helps are going to help you. And obviously it still stayed there, but I would have still saved money on getting a better entry and, save time as well. So that's really how you use charts when you're investing. Okay. VeChain, well, VeChain is new, so there's not much to it here. well, on Binance anyways. IOTA as well was in a very big downtrend compared to Bitcoin. And then, like a lot of these altcoins that behave similarly, it finally broke over that downtrend, again, with a lot of volume here. So that's good. Now it's bouncing back off that resistance line, which is now the new support line. So yeah, I would want to get into it. Now, I wouldn't have gotten into it here because I wouldn't have known if it would have broken over or if it would have bounced off of it and, just bounced off of it and went down. So I wouldn't have just bought here. I would have either waited until it gets here to buy, or if it broke over and it broke that, resistance, then I would have bought here. But, I wouldn't have just bought here. Even though in this situation, buying here would be better than buying here, but I wouldn't have known, right? If, hindsight 2020, if we were back in time and we were in this situation, I wouldn't have bought just here, right? Because I don't know if it would have broken up or if it would have went down, and in a downtrend, it's more likely that it goes down. So I would have waited. If it breaks up, nice. Okay, it broke the downtrend, I can buy. If it wouldn't, I would have waited until it went back down here and I would have bought down. Or to be honest, I don't like buying even, when something is in a downtrend, don't go against the trend. Just wait until it breaks out of it, then you get into it. So that's how technical would help you, to be honest. It would help you by making you save money by not getting into bad positions, right? This one, instead of getting in here, right? Maybe you wanted to buy it here. Well, you would have waited and you would have ended up buying it here at a way better price. That's how it helps you. So, yeah, make sure you check your charts out. Don't break your head too much about it because, again, when you're investing, it's a longer term thing. Technical analysis does not have as much value. Not at all, honestly. Just like that's the most value it would have. And that's from me having traded for so long and invested for so long and formed traders. In our active trading, we use a lot of technical analysis, a bunch of it, and volume and order flow and the order book. And we don't look at fundamentals at all in the trading. And some strategies we do where we're very active, we're buying and selling within the same minute. We don't care about fundamentals. We care about news and stuff like that, but not actual fundamentals. Then when you're doing investment, it's the opposite. You don't care about, some article that came out and a bit of hype from people saying this or that, or this pattern that says something about supply and demand for the next 2 hours or 2 days. You don't care because it's a longer term investment and it doesn't affect that. Okay. So take a look at the charts for the coins that you're going to buy.